Good afternoon, YouTube. I'm back for today, my favorite session of the week, which is, of course, if you know me, leg day. Why do I love leg day? Because leg day will test you to the absolute limits of what you are capable of. And I love winning every single time that I train legs. Every single time I go into a leg session and afterwards I leave feeling satisfied, feeling happy, feeling accomplished that I got through it. Some days, some leg days when I get into it, I don't want to do it, or whenever I'm starting, I feel low energy, but inevitably I push through and I succeed. So, what does my leg day look like today? We're going to be starting not with legs, but with biceps. Why? Because my biceps are shit. That's why my arms are shit. So I need some more volume on my biceps. So I'm going to be starting with 2 sets of preacher curl. Afterwards, we will be going into the leg portion of the workout, starting with calves. Why calves before hamstrings or glutes? Or I don't know glutes, but before quads. It's just that calves are not really that taxing, and also they're a weak point. So it makes sense to do calves before you do hamstrings and quads, so you don't go into your calf training feeling a little bit fatigued. And of course, fatigue is a very big word nowadays because people are maybe a little bit too scared of fatigue, but fatigue is a real thing and it is something that you can consider and that you can program appropriately with. So if I were to do my calf portion of the workout after I did hamstrings and quads, then I would get less reps, less stimulation and less growth for my calves. So that's why I do them first. And also the great thing about calf training, at least for me, is that it doesn't really affect my hamstring training and my quad training, which is also why after calves and before quads, I'm going to be doing hamstrings. Now, why do I do hamstrings before quads? Again, hamstrings, not necessarily a weak point because both my quads and my hamstrings are very well developed, but hamstrings are less taxing than quads. So if I demolish hamstrings first, then go into quads, I will be less fatigued than if I demolish quads first and then go into hamstrings. And also maybe a little bonus side effect is that training your hamstrings will warm up your knees also. So if you go into your leg extension or your squat variation or your leg press variation, you will be less likely to get injured if you train your hamstrings first because you will already be a little bit warm. After hamstrings, so I do 3 sets of seated leg curl. Then I will go into my 3 sets of quads, both divided into 3 different exercises. We're going to be starting with a leg extension, then going into a leg press and ending with a pendulum squat. Now, why this order? You don't, at least you can, but I don't prefer to start with leg press first because training in the stretch position of a muscle will do more damage and accumulate more fatigue than training maybe more in a shortened range of motion first. So whenever you do a squat variation or especially a leg press variation, you will have a lot of tension in the stretch position of the muscle, so in the bottom portion. And for me, it makes sense, therefore, to do my leg extension variation first and then go into my squat or leg press variation instead of the other way around. Another benefit that this brings, of course, is that you don't have to use as much weight on your squat variation, leg press variation, so that's also, lower injury risk. So after I do leg extension for 1 set, I will move on to leg press for 1 set, and afterwards I will do pendulum squat for 1 set. All 1 set because I don't need a lot of volume on my legs. My legs grow like a motherfucker, they grow like weeds, and I really am trying to limit the amount of volume I do for legs so my legs are not completely overpowering the rest of my physique. After I do my 3 sets of squats, I will be going back to hamstrings to get 2 more sets of hamstrings. And my last exercise of the day will therefore be a 45-degree hyperextension where I will focus on not necessarily using my lower back and my glutes, but I will focus on using my hamstrings. So I will be using more of the lengthened position on the hyperextension instead of maybe the shortened position where your glutes have more leverage and therefore will be worked more. Now, having explained my session, I'm going to be making my pre-workout now and heading to the gym. But before I go, I want to leave you with a quote. And you might have heard this quote 1,000 times already, but I don't care. The quote being, Why do we fall? So we can learn to pick ourselves up again. And if you get the reference, it's from Batman Rises Again, the Batman Bane movie. I want you to actually think about it. And what does it mean for you specifically? This fucking heat doesn't bother me one bit, man. Come on. It's all you. It's all yours. Fucking hell. Let's fucking go. Motherfucker. God damn. All right. Let's get a little pump check going for my quads before I blur my lines out any further by doing, you know, leg extension I just did. And then after my leg press and my my pendulum squat, I don't know if I'm going to be having much more definition, so. There's not much left, to be honest, anyway, so. Oh. Yeah. Mini cut's working, we can say that for sure. See the hamstring drop? Woo. Glute tie in. Yeah. That's when you know you're not there yet. It's always your glutes that'll tell the full picture of if you're actually lean enough. All right. So, because I just did my leg extension, I know that my quads are already kind of warmed up. So what I did is I did 3 plates as a warm-up before this, and this 4.5 plates is going to be my top side exercise. And I always do my top side exercise or my top side weight just for 1 repetition before I do my full working set. Just gonna to prime my body and my nervous system to be able to handle this load effectively during my set. And what you also might have noticed is I'm not using that much weight, at least not that some of you might have expected, because you will see some people do twice as much weight, but they have got twice as small legs as mine. So I don't know why some people feel the need to progress in weight as much as they do when they're actually being counterproductive. I wholeheartedly believe that most of the people you see in the gym are quote-unquote ego lifting, even though their form looks textbook. Internally, people are not utilizing their muscles to the fullest of their capabilities and actually getting the stimulus that's required to grow big muscle. So if I were you, I would reevaluate if you actually need
the amount of weight that you're using. And not that you could get away with less, because that sounds like the easy way out, which is not. But that you can make the set harder with less weight. And it actually is harder to do this with this amount of weight, with full control, than it is for me to do 6, 7 plates, you know? This is gonna be hard, but I can handle this. I've done this 1,000 times before, and I'm gonna do it 1,000 times again, and I know I can, so I'm going to. Wait! 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 Oh my God, bro. Oh, yeah. I'm probably gonna throw up today. But it's worth it though. It always is. Wait! 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 Motherfucker! Yeah! Fucking hell. Wait! 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 Hey! Oh, fuck! Oh, motherfucker! Didn't hurt myself. Just went further than most people go. All right, leg day is done. And guess what? This is probably the most I've ever sweat during a training session ever. And despite this so-called heat, you know, this thing that's basically related to temperature, nothing more than that. Despite this so-called heat, I went in here and I fucking did this shit anyway. I gave it all I got. And that's what's in my control. Because people seem to be forgetting sometimes that whenever they are bitching about the heat, complaining about the heat is probably not in your control. Unless you've got very sophisticated air conditioning to your disposal and you are actually in charge of handling the air conditioning, guess what? You're not gonna be able to change the heat. So you gotta bring the heat. You've gotta bring your own mental side of you. Because these moments right here, this is just not just about physical training. This is about mental training. This is an opportunity for you, for yourself, to better yourself. This is an opportunity to go in here and despite all the odds, despite this so-called heat, go in here and say, fuck you. I'm not gonna quit because of you. I'm not gonna give less than I got because of you. And to the people who are consciously complaining about the heat, remember this, what you consciously think about is what you unconsciously tend to follow. So if you keep complaining about the heat, your body is not gonna give 100%. I come in here on these days being kind of delusional, saying I'm built for this shit, I'm built for this heat. And guess what? My body adapts because it tries to protect its identity. So I identify myself as a dude that does not quit when things don't necessarily fall into place. No, I'm someone that does give more when things are not in my control, when things are not perfect for me, when the variables are not in my favor. Because I know this is what separates the winners from the losers. The losers, they experience these circumstances and they quit. They stop, they don't give it their all. But the winners, they persevere, they keep going, they give everything they got. And all these drops of sweat that you see from me, these are just my fucking trophy for giving it everything I had. And this leg day now, I can tell you, feels 100% better, 100 times better than last week when it was more tolerable with temperature. I don't give a shit if it's tolerable or not. The temperature does not matter to me. I keep going. That's what I do. That's what I have done. That's what I continue to do. Always will and always have.